So here's another piece of art that I'm making using half-inch tube. This one is going to be a clear piece. I'm going to be layering it down with 2 mm capillary tubing. This takes me about 10 minutes in real time. And while I'm layering this down, you're going to notice that I'm starting at the end of the piece and pushing the piece of artwork into the glass as I go along with the capillary tube hanging down through the heat. Now what this does is it melts enough of the tubing to stick and melt onto the piece of art as I'm continuing to work. One thing that you have to keep in mind, and very important, is to keep the entire piece warm for the entire duration of the process, or else you're going to get cracks. So while I'm going ahead and doing that, we're just going to go ahead and look at my last video here and see if I can answer a few questions. Regarding showing the final product in some of the videos, if you want to see the finished products, your best place to do that is heading over to my other channel, Master Rolla. This channel is all about the process and of me making the actual piece. Sometimes showing the actual piece at the end involves more steps. Sorry, I'll try to do better for you. I think I show it at the end of this one. Someone asks if I'm planning on only making pipes or if I'm going to make other pieces of functional art. More complicated pieces, definitely I will. My next order of glass has been pretty much dedicated solely to these types of pieces of art that I'm currently making. A few different pieces of tubing at different widths or outer diameters. But after that, after I figure out and I'm comfortable with this type of art, I'm going to move into more complicated pieces. Someone's asking if I've burnt my finger yet. I burn myself quite often. I've always burned myself a lot. Right now, I have one burn on one hand, two burns. Yeah, I got 3 burns at the moment, all pretty bad, but not bad enough for me to really care. And yeah, so let's get back to this piece here. I'm just starting to melt it in, and what I'm doing here is allowing gravity to twist it around and give a bit of a pattern to the piece, which is something that I've been experimenting with recently. So I'm just going to be dragging it around. This smooths it out, melts in the glass quite well. The reason I was trying it here with clear glass is because I've done it with colored glass before, and I wanted to get a better idea of how the glass was melting inside. And sometimes with the colored glass it's hard to tell, and the clear glass is very easy to tell. With only the one layer of glass on the half-inch tubing, it melts in quite easily, as opposed to the much thicker piece that I uploaded the other day. And now I'm just forming the end of this piece, so I'm going to be blowing it out as I get it warm instead of twisting it around and allowing gravity to do its thing. Shortly thereafter, I'm going to have to pull and twirl off the excess glass that's at the end of this piece here. This is something that I'm still working on. I'm not extremely good at it yet, so unfortunately I do deform it slightly here, which means that I have to fix it a little bit. So this pipe would have only taken me about 15 minutes to do start to finish if I hadn't screwed this part up right here. But it took me about 5 minutes to recover from that mistake, I believe. And it took about 20 minutes from start to finish to do this piece. It worked out relatively well. Definitely a usable piece, 100% functional. Right now I'm just going to be heating up the draw end of this piece to make sure I don't get any cracks. That's another thing that I've had to work on. I'm cracking about 30% of the pieces that I work on currently, but once again, it's all in the learning. It's all part of the learning experience. So I just popped a hole there, and I like to push it in slightly, then warm it up, and continue the push. I find this way I avoid having it seal up and close on me. So I'm just going to be keeping it warm here just to make sure that I can punty it up and get something going so I can add the other hole and remove the mouthpiece. So with a smaller flame, I'm going to twirl it and cut it just at the draw end there. This is another area of the piece that I have to work on, opening the end up. It takes me a little bit here, and I'm working on some different methods because plucking out and pulling at it is not working for me. So what I like to do is blow into it here like this, just to thin out the glass a little bit. This is not normal, so I'm going to have to really practice it because for other pieces that might not be necessary. So still, now I'm going to try another method of a smaller tube to blow in there just to pull it out and open it up. So then we're going to take a quick look at this piece. I'm just going to open the hole up right there, I think. No, here we go. 3, 2, 1. There we go. Now with my tweezers, I'm just going to open up the end a little bit, make it nice, flame polish it off, and then I need to tidy up the punty end, remove the bleb of glass that's there, and this cleans up the piece pretty well. And I have one more functional piece of art that I can use. However, I currently don't have a kiln, so there's no annealing for me. But let's take a look at this piece. I slowed it down. There you go. So there's a piece of art with clear glass. And as you can see, there's a bit of a twist in the neck, and it's quite smooth. So all in all, it's a usable piece. Cheers, guys. Have a good day. And of course, happy melting.